What's going on, YouTube fam? Hope you're well. Just wanted to make this video. Hopefully I can get through it pretty quick. It doesn't really need to be drug out. But I realized that not a lot of people, being the filament track switch is new, probably have this. I know I see a lot of videos of people saying it's $50, yada yada. I wanted it because I was interested in it and to see how it was set up, and I try to utilize the most of my machines to make the most out of the tool that I purchased. So I figured I'd make a quick video and just show you how it all gets set up in my scenario. First thing that you want to make sure of is that you print all these yellow, and I printed them in yellow so that you can clearly see these brackets. You can find these on the Bambu Labs wiki under the filament track switch section. The 3MF files are there for download, and you can print them, and you're going to need, if you have, depending on which AMS you have, you'll need to print out the appropriate bracket. In my case, I have the original AMS, the AMS HT, and the AMS Pro. Each bracket is different, so just be aware of which bracket you need to print, and print however many you need of each bracket to set up your system appropriately. You also need to print out this bracket for the filament track switch. I did all mine in yellow just so they're clearly visible and you can see them on the machine, the parts that you print versus what actually comes with any kit or whatever. You also print out these little buffer release tabs on, you'll need 2 of those. So when you're setting this up, first thing you want to make sure is that your PTFE tubes from the buffer to the filament track switch are exactly 115 millimeters. I just used a caliper and measure mine and put them in there, no issue. Then you're going to want to, after you secure your tubing into there, into the filament from the buffer to the filament track switch, then you're going to want to secure right in here. It comes with 2 screws on the filament track switch, and you'll secure that actual filament track switch to this bracket that you've printed and secure it down tight. Then, no matter what AMS you're running, you don't want any more than 700 millimeters of tubing from the AMS to the filament track switch. That's the max. I've pretty much cut everything down from that. I don't have any that are actually, I think this tube here is the only one going to the top that's the full 700, but that's hearsay. So anyways, 700 millimeters max for your PTFE tube going to any AMS to the filament track switch. So when you set this up, depending on, and we're going to go by my scenario, and we'll talk about another one after I show you. Mount all your brackets. They just slide up under your AMS. There's no screws or nothing. They literally just slide up underneath there, and it's a slide fit. Then get your systems and your units where you want them on in your setup. Like as you can see mine here, I've printed the side mount bracket for my AMS HT, and this is how I want mine set up. It's the most convenient for me. Set yours up however you want. Get your tubing and everything to the appropriate lengths. Make your tubing as short as you can with your setup, and that's going to give you the best results. So obviously when you come in here, you're going to have your cable from your first AMS unit up top right here, and it's going to run down into your filament buffer as normal if you bought an AMS. You're also going to have your second cable going from your AMS to the top of the filament track switch that you see here, right? In my case, I have the power adapter for my AMS2 Pro, so I can dry and print at the same time. Whether you don't necessarily need that. I just chose to, I had it, so I put it on, basically. So that's what that is. So then you have your cable running down from your AMS1 to your filament track switch. And that takes care of AMS unit 1. And then of course you run your PTFE tube from AMS1 out the setting into the 4-in-1 PTF adapter. Then my second AMS down here, you're going to run this 6-pin cable up here to your third AMS, or in my case, the AMS HT, and that's going to go into that unit. And then so the AMS is going to come into the HT unit, and then I'll take a 6-pin out of the HT unit, and I'm going to bring it down, and it's going to plug into the bottom here of the filament track switch. And that'll take care of all your cables and all your communication cables and whatnot, so that when you open Bambu Studio and all that, everything knows where it needs to be. And you'll be all set up. Now, you can run 2 more AMS units, regular and or pro, and you can plug them into this 4-to-1 PTFE tube adapter if you have more than those AMSs, and it will automatically figure out how the filament is best to be routed in said units. And we'll touch base with that real quick here in a minute. So that is the physical connection setup. So that's the physical connection for the AMS2. And I like to keep my stuff a little tidy just so it doesn't look so messy. I know the power cable is not in the back, but what we're going to do now is I'm going to spin this back around and we'll plug it in, and then I'll show you what it looks like in the actual Bambu Studio, if you will. One other note, if I didn't mention it already, these can be only 100, these PTFE tubes here, 115 millimeters exactly between the buffer and that, no longer. All right, well, let's go ahead, and I'm going to spin this back around. This setup, this side bracket's pretty nice. Even when you have this thing printed on the back, it does move a little bit. But once you secure the cables, it's not going anywhere. The front is secured permanently, and once you secure the cables, the back ain't going anywhere either. So just take note of that. And it also has this neat little clip on the side here, and it prevents it as it's moving so that this AMS can't slide over and fall. So that'll keep it locked into place. And as you can see, it's telling us we have a new firmware. Oh, man, I smacked my monitor. All right. So now that we're looking at our monitors here, let's go to Bambu Studio. I'm running beta version 2.7055, public beta, I should say. And we're going to come over here. First thing, tell us the filament switcher is detected but not calibrated and thus currently unavailable. Synchronized before use. We're going to hit OK. First thing we want to do is go to our device tab. And it's going to tell you an AMS has been detected, yada yada, set it up. If you don't know what you're doing, you can click on it and you can go into here. And it also says some modules are incompatible with firmware. Please do note you will need to update the firmware. So as you can see, we're going over to here and we're going to need to update the firmware on the X2D. So we'll hit update firmware and we will confirm. And we're going to go ahead and let the firmware update accordingly. All right, guys. So the firmware is updated, and as you can see on the screen, it says AMS detected. Please set up to confirm which side the filament track switch is, yada yada. And reading the directions, essentially you're going to need, you can do it manually, or you can put one spool of filament in each AMS and do it. And that's the route we're going to do, and let it do automatically because it's easier. So we'll go to setup, and we're going to go to auto mode. Each AMS requires one spool of filament, taking about 10 seconds per AMS. That's what we're going to do. So let's go to auto mode. And we've got one in there. I'm just going to throw some Pit G in our AMS high temp. We'll go ahead and put this other one here. And these are all just random filament spools that I had. And we'll go ahead and set one in here. Pull it forward a little bit so I can open it up. And we'll set this one in here. That spool is cracked. All right. And we're detecting. And for this spool, because it's broken, I'm just holding it. Now it's going to the AMS. All the rest of the spools are good. That was some off-brand filament, and I dropped the spool and broke it. And now it's going to go to the AMS HT, and it's going to read it. Boom. And now your AMS is set up completely, and that's all there is to set up the filament track switch automatically. And as stated, you can do this manually. And then on your screen, you'll see your HT, and then you have your two AMSs here. And then also, after you update this firmware, do take note. Let me see. It says the motor noise calibration needs to be done again. So we're going to go to print calibration, and I'm going to do everything. And we're going to recalibrate. Anytime I update firmware, I like to update everything. So we'll go ahead and let that do its thing. And after it's done, we'll come back and we'll show you what the finished product looks like. All right, guys, so we did the motor calibration and everything, and just pulled up the slicer. The machine itself is still calibrating, but after you set everything up and put the filament in and all that, then you'll see when you come over here, you have your AMSs listed here. We have the, this is the AMS2 Pro here. This is the regular AMS, and this here being the AMS high temp over here. And regardless of which AMS you select, you can come down here and it'll follow the path down into here, into the filament track switch, where it can be fed into the left nozzle or the right nozzle from either AMS. So you can have essentially those 8 colors in each nozzle, however you need to. And or you can do the same thing with the AMS HT, and you can bring it back and swap it to the left and or right nozzle, depending on what you're, printing or what you're doing in there. But that's how it looks after it's set up. And then of course you can go in and make sure that you have your AMS set the way you'd like. And after that, it's all set up and good to go. So that's how the filament track switch works on the Bambu Labs X2D, and how you set it up when using 2 AMS units of either the AMS Pro or the regular and or the high temp variant. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to answer them. I answer all my comments in a pretty timely fashion. If this video helped you in any way, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you don't mind, check out one of those videos at the top. We'll see you on the next one.